So you're engaged. Congratulations. But this isn't your regular engagement because you're getting engaged during COVID, which, let's be honest, is different. So today we're talking about getting engaged during these COVID times and what comes next. Hi there, I'm Jamie Chang, your destination wedding planning guru and designer of joy at Mango Muse Events, the creator of Passport to Joy, the step-by-step online wedding planning course for couples, and the founder of Let's I Do This, intimate and virtual weddings in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I share real and honest and useful wedding planning tips, tricks, and advice you can use to help make planning your wedding easier and more joyful, so you can create a wedding you love. Because let's face it, wedding planning isn't always very easy. In fact, it can be downright painful, and nobody wants that. So we're bringing the joy back to wedding planning. Are you ready? All right, so let's do this. Let's dive in here. Now, first of all, congratulations. Huge congratulations on your engagement. It is such a happy time, and I am so happy for you. You know, there's this inexplicable kind of glow that you get when you get engaged, and it's partly, the warmth and just the honor of choosing someone who also chooses you back. It's excitement over, your upcoming life, your upcoming marriage together, and sort of all that entails. And it's, that deep love that you feel for each other, that you feel for this person who just brings you so much joy. And all of that is just so lovely. But, experiencing that and all those lovely feelings with the backdrop that is COVID can, reduce that glow, can bring that high a bit down. It certainly doesn't erase it, but it can color it a little bit. And, because after, you get engaged, the next kind of follow-up question is always going to be around the wedding and getting married. And, let's face it, that just looks different now. And so that anxiety and the worry that can come with that can just kind of mar your engagement. And we do not want that. We absolutely don't want that. Because, your engagement, as I said before, is a really happy thing. And it should be happy no matter what. So, if you're newly engaged, whether it happened yesterday or a week ago or a month ago, whenever it happened, okay? First things first. I want you to just enjoy it. Literally, just enjoy it. Like, don't worry about getting married just yet. In other words, ignore COVID, so to speak. Enjoy being engaged. Enjoy that glow and that high that you feel. Don't worry about, what others think or say or ask you. Just live in that moment as long as you can or as long as you want to. Because, wedding planning is just so much more enjoyable and easier when you're actually ready for it, especially now. So take your time. I give you full permission to take your time and just enjoy this moment, okay? And then when you're ready to think about sort of what comes next, to think about the wedding, to think about getting married, you want to start with 3 questions. Because, it's really easy for you to just kind of go down a rabbit hole where your mind goes a little bit nuts and all the worry and anxiety and stress, of these COVID times and what will happen and how to plan a wedding, just sort of takes over. And that worry, when and where and how and all the things is just a lot. So what you want to do first is to start with 3 questions, these 3 questions, because it will really help to sort of center you and make what comes after this much easier. Okay? So once again, when you're ready, you want to dive into these 3 questions. And question number 1 is this. When you think about the wedding that you want, what comes to mind sort of initially? What comes to mind first? Now, this is not what you should have. This is not what's, sort of expected of you. This is not what your mom wants or your parents want. The question is, what do you really want? What do you want sort of deep down, if you're being honest with yourself? What is your sort of version of the dream wedding? And what we're looking for here really is the honest truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But that truth that is the truth for you. So, is it keeping it simple and maybe going to the courthouse? Is it getting married with perhaps just a few people somewhere special? Is it, having a wedding and a honeymoon maybe all wrapped into one? Is it celebrating, with your huge family from all across the world? Is it dancing the night away, with all of your friends? Now, this is a question that both you and your now fiance will need to answer, as, obviously the wedding is about you both. And while you should give this question, some serious thought, because it's a serious question, you also don't want to spend a lot of time on it. You don't want to overanalyze. It should really be sort of instinctual because it's based on just what you really care about. And also, you don't want to think about COVID as you're thinking about this question or as you're thinking about this answer. Just ignore COVID for right now. All you're really looking for here is to figure out what you really want. Okay? Now, once you have this answer, then you're going to move to question number 2. And here's question number 2. When do you want to get married? So you want to think about this question, not so much in terms of, say, the season or time of year or the month or even the day. You want to think about it in the sense of how long do you want to be engaged for? Or in other words, when do you want to be married by? Because, this is a different question. This is a different question that results potentially in a different answer. Sort of liking the idea of getting married in the summer is different than potentially wanting to get married this year. Now, this might seem like a very easy question to answer, but it can actually be harder than the first sometimes. And while, it's hard to ignore COVID with regards to this question, once again, you're going to want to ignore it for now. Just purely think about when you want to get married. Just sort of full stop. Just focus purely on that. And think about it. Talk it over with your partner and then see where you come out. Now, once you have your answer to this question, then comes question number 3. And question number 3 is, do your answers match or do they conflict? So you're going to want to take your answers to, the first 2 questions and see if they work together or not. This is also finally when COVID will come into play. Because let's say, for example, the wedding you want to have in the time frame you want to have it is just not able to happen right now. Or maybe the wedding you want to have in the time frame you want to have it works perfectly. Now, it was really important that you figured out what you really wanted and when you wanted to get married first, because at this point, you can use that and your feelings and your discussion over that to figure out sort of what comes next for you. Because if your answers matched, right, then it's your kind of path forward is easier. You know how to proceed. You can do so confidently. If your answers conflict, then you might have some follow-up questions that you need to ask yourself. For example, what matters more? Or is there a compromise that you would be equally happy with? Or how long are you willing to wait? Now, these aren't always easy questions to answer, but where you come out will really give you the way forward. And once again, because you've answered the first 2 questions first, you have a really solid idea of what you care about. If things conflict, then you can figure out kind of what makes more sense, or what wins out over what, or what you're maybe willing to fudge a little on or move a little on or compromise a little on in order to get one of the things that you really want. Because the hardest part, especially now, is just knowing where to start. There are just so many questions and so many thoughts just like whirling around in your head, I'm sure, when it regards to planning, when it comes to the wedding, when it comes to COVID. So, what you're going to want to do, as a little recap, is remember, just enjoy your engagement first. Enjoy that glow, enjoy that high. And then when you're ready, you're going to want to sit down and answer these 3 questions first before you do anything else, because it will really just help to center you and make what comes next, whatever you start to plan, just that much easier and clearer and something that you can feel really confident in. Okay? Now, I want to leave us today with a question, and a happy question, because once again, this is a really happy time no matter what, regardless of COVID. Okay? So here's the question. What's the best part about getting engaged right now? Let me know in a comment below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please like it, give us some thumbs up. You can check out our other videos for even more tips, and please hit subscribe so you can get access to all the new ones. And if you're looking for help through the entire wedding planning process, including having access to a wedding advisor, please check out Passport to Joy. You can find all the links below, because you deserve to enjoy your engagement, no matter what your budget is, and even in the middle of a pandemic. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.